On this video, I am going to be picking up where I left last time in this review and revision of the grammar that I did on Hammurabi's epilogue. At this point, we are at line 63. To put it in context, Hammurabi is claiming that he has ruled the people and of Sumer and Akkad, and carried them as it were in his bosom, that in my refuge or protection they flourished. In peace I have ruled over them, and in my wisdom, he says, I have sheltered them, that the strong might not harm the weak, and to set right that which concerns the orphan and widow. And that's where we stopped last time. Just to go back and pick it up where he said, I carried them in my bosom, and in my refuge they flourish. Inna lamasiya ichisha, in my peace I have ruled. In a shumim atabashinati, and I have ruled them, and in my wisdom I have caused them to be sheltered. In a nemekia stop zir shinati, that the strong might not harm the weak. Danum esham anala chabalim, and then of the orphan and widow to set right. Nuk sig, nuk, or nu musu, Sumerian words in Akkadian, kutim almatim, of the orphan and widow, shu teshurim, for to direct the right. And that's where I stopped last time. And so now I'm picking up at line 63 as I continue working through this epilogue text of Hammurabi, looking at the reading of the text along with a grammatical analysis. So we come to line 63, for to set right, inna kadingeraki, Sumerian, capital K-A, capital D-I-N-G-I-R, capital R-A, ki, meaning place, which would be in a Babilim, in Babylon. Alim Shah Anum U Elel Reshishu, that is the city which Ammon and Enlil, its head, I caused to lift up, or I raised up. So we pick it up there as we continue. Inna Babilim. Inna takes the genitive case in Babilim. And Uru is Sumerian. Alim is city. So in Babylon, the city, Shah, is a relative pronoun. Anum u Enlil reshishu, which Anum and Enlil, its head, Ulu, I caused to raise. By the way, as I've said on all of my videos, I am following Borger's transliteration and my normalization and my grammatical analysis. So we pick up at that point. He wants to direct the writer. He said, I have directed that which is right. For the orphan and widow in Babylon, the city, in Babilim, Alim, the city, Shah Anum u Enlil, which Anum and Enlil, its head, the Shishu Ulu, its head I raised up. And notice Ulu here is a verb. It is a D preterite, first common singular from elu, I cause to raise up. Notice the doubling of the L in the U prefix, indicative of a D preterite stem, first person singular, or I cause to raise up, or I cause to grow up. And then we continue in the next phrase, Ina Isagila. Ina Isagila, E is Sumerian for house, would be Bittim. So it would be in Esagila, the house. Shakima Shameh would be Shakima Shameh, in the house, whose as heaven, U Etzitim, and Eretzitim, and earth, Ishdashu, its foundation, is the Akkadian rendition of the Sumerian Shu Shin, Shu, would be Ishdashu, its foundation are established. Kina. And as I look at that particular phrase, just looking at it real quickly here, in a Sigalu, the house, notice again we have the genitive case in Bittim from Bitum in Sumerian, in Akkadian, E in Sumerian, whose as Shameh, as heaven. It's interesting to me, the Hebrew Shamayim and the Akkadian Shameh, U Eretzitim, and as an earth. Eretzitu is the Akkadian earth, Eretz in Hebrew, and earth, Ishdashu, its foundation. And here we have capital S, U, capital H, U, and then a sheen, or S with a V on top of it, an SH sound. Shu is your pronominal suffix, third masculine singular. Its foundations, and this is Sumerian, and Ishdashu would be the Akkadian. Kina are established. So Kina is a gestative, third feminine plural from Kanu, to establish. So the house of the god of Enlil is established. And he was basically, what he's saying here is, the city which Anu and Enlil, its head, I raised up in a Sagilu, the house whose is heaven and earth, its foundations are established. Kina, like I said, is a gestative, third feminine plural from kana or kanu, to establish. And I'm thinking of kun in Hebrew, a parallel word, or a parallel verbal form. And notice the house of the god of Enlil is established. I think of David wanting to establish the house for Yahweh in 2 Samuel 7. So we move on then to verse, or to line 70. Di'in matim ana di anim purushe'e matim ana parasiim. That is, din matim, the law of the land, ana dianim, for setting right, purusha, the decisions of the land, matim, ana parasim, for cutting the wrong, hablim, for causing justice, for the cutting or for decisions of the land for cutting, In other words, he's made these decisions from parashum for causing justice for the wrong. Just to go through this a moment here, lines 70 to 74. Note the cluster of infinitives with the preposition ana showing purpose. Dianim, that is, for the purpose to administrate. G infinitive, from dianum, to administrate. Parashim, the G infinitive, from ana in the genitive, for cutting or for making a decree. Parashu, cutting like a decree. Shu teshurim, notice here, is to make straight, or to make, I guess I would render it to make straight. A sheen T infinitive with the genitive from asheru, to be straight or to make straight. And so as I go back to reading the text again, Din Matim, the law of the land, Ana Dianim, for setting right. Purush said, the decisions of the land. Matim, notice again, two nouns, sort of like in construct with the genitive in Matim here, and in Din, law of the man, and then Ana Parasim, for cutting. Parasim, like I said, is like to cut a decree or to cut a covenant in Hebrew. So from parasu, for the cutting of decrees, and then for causing justice for the wrong. And here we have shu te shurim. In other words, his point is to make straight or to cut justice for the wrong. And to make it right, I think, is really what he's saying. And then we move on. Hablim, shu te shurim. For the wrong or wrong person, for the causing of justice. In other words, he wants to make justice, like we said, for the wrong. And my precious words I wrote on my stela, in the presence of my image as King of Justice I established. So we pick that up in line 74, where we have awitiya, my precious words. Ya is your pronominal suffix, first person, singular, from awatun, of my, a genitive again, plural. My precious, I guess we could take it as an oblique case, genitive or accusative, plural. So my words, shukuratim, my precious words. Shukuratim would be reliable, reliable words. My precious word. It would mean precious or valuable. So my valuable words, ina naruya, on my stela. Notice capital N-A, capital R-U-I-A, would be in my stela. Sumerian, and then the Akkadian would be in a nariyu, nariya. Again, ina taking the genitive case here, with ya, the pronominal suffix, first person singular. I wrote, ashturma, and I wrote is a G preterite, first common singular from shataru, to write, with the conjunction ma. I wrote, and And he's going to go on. In the presence of my image as king of justice, I establish. In a mahar, in the present, Saumiya of my image. The Sumerian was Alam Ya. In the presence of my image, Shar Misharim, king of justice. Notice two nouns in construct, and Misharum is the genitive, like Misha, similar to the Hebrew word, Misharu, meaning justice. So, as king of justice, Ukin, I establish. So, in my image, notice Saumiya is a genitive of Salmu with the pronominal suffix first common singular ya. Hammurabi wrote before an image representing himself. In Genesis 1:26, God says, "Let us make man, but Salmenu, in our image," as the Salmu of Hammurabi represented him. So we, as humans, are to represent God as his representatives upon earth. I'm going to stop there and come back and pick it up. There's just so much here, you can't cover it in a few minutes. So I'm going to stop, but we'll come back and continue.